Okay, let's discuss question 8 from the VCA paper 2021 further exam 2. Part C of this question is interesting and often is the area of weakness for most students. Okay, for renovations to the coffee shop, Sienna took out a reducing balance loan of 570,000 with interest calculated fortnightly. The balance of the loan after n fortnights can be modeled by the recurrence relation. Now, you know, in a recurrence relation, there's two parts to it. One is the starting value and the other is a rule that connects it. Now, from this rule, we can see that it's compounding fortnightly. So this part is equal to 1 plus r over p, the number of times it compounds, times 100. And this value is the repayment. Calculate the balance of this loan, the balance, which is basically the future value, after the first fortnightly repayment is made. Now, because the recurrence relation is given, we can use the sequence tab. And so on the CAS, we can put in an plus 1 is equal to 1.001 an minus 1193, which is the rule given. The starting value is, of course, 570,000. And we can calculate, when we come up with the table, n an, and it will give you 570,000. I'm not going through the steps to get this value. 569377, and this is the value after the first fortnightly repayment. Show that the compound interest rate for this question is 2.6% per annum. This question is pretty predictable because we have the sequence given. The sequence relation, which is the recurrence relation. So show that the compound interest rate is 2.6%. So as I told you previously, the compound interest formula is equal to 1.001, and if you subtract 1 from this value, we get 0.001, and therefore r over 2600 is equal to 0.001. It is this line that usually gets the mark, this line. So sometimes they have, because they show that question and it's only 1 mark, so it is this particular, this is the calculation you need to show. Okay, let's move on to part C. For the loan to be fully repaid to the nearest cent, Sienna's final repayment will be a larger amount. So obviously there must be a small value that is a few cents or a few dollars sometimes that needs to be repaid, and they make the adjustment by adding it to your last repayment. So the first step is you have to calculate how long this loan is going to be paid for. And in order to do that, you use the financial solver. And these are the values that you put into your calculator. This is positive. PMT is your payment, which is minus 1193. And this is your payment per year and the compounds per year, which is obviously 26 being fortnightly. Now, when we put that into the calculator, we get 650.006, no, 0046891. Now, because the final repayment should be a larger amount, if we went on to find what the future value is, if we just replaced 650 instead of all these decimal places, we can find out what the future value is, which can be then adjusted. PMT is minus 1193, PYCY is 26. And when we do that, we find that the future value works out to be minus 5.591346653. So there is still this little balance that needs to be adjusted. Now, if your final repayment has to be a larger amount, it's preferable after you calculate your first value of n to go down and take just the whole number part, okay, as I've done over here, and calculate what the future value is going to be and add this value to your last repayment. So when we add 1193 plus 5.5913466653, we get 1198.59, 1198 and 59 cents. And this is the final repayment, which will be a larger amount compared to 1193, which was your usual repayment. This is a good question to add to your bound reference as well, because questions like this are the ones that cause you to lose marks in the exam. Thanks for watching. Bye.